Television Department of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Good evening and welcome to LNTV News Live. 30 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa and beyond. I'm Cecilia Glickly-Clark anchoring tonight's edition, and these are the top stories. Liberian Women Wednesday joins their global counterparts in observance of International Women's Day under the theme Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. 1,500 homes to be constructed across the country, says Lesbos Pepsi Yeke. Refugee County Superintendent Philip Williams says ongoing road project in the country is in its advanced stage. And in foreign news, Kenya and Somalia restores diplomatic ties following a row over the ownership of offshore oil fields. These and many more interesting stories all packaged for your viewing. But first, let's take a short break to be right back. Thanks for rejoining us. I'm Cecilia Glickly-Clark, and let's take our first development. First Lady Claudia is calling on government and partners to ensure that women have access to basic social services. According to Madam Weah, issues regarding violence against women must be put to stop. First Lady Claudia spoke recently at programs marking the observance of International Women's Day held in Kakata, Maigibi County.
In Liberia, women have less access to education, healthcare, property, and justice as compared to men. They are usually victims of various forms of sexual gender-based violences, especially rape, which is alarmingly prevalent. The impact of these situations on our women and girls range from immediate to long-term physical, sexual, mental consequences, and even death, hindering their active participation at all levels of governance. We recall two allegedly gruesome gang rape and murder incidents in Monrovia in December 2018, and the reported torture of 3 ladies, one of whom died as a result of manhandling in Sinai County recently. We can boast of many real decent men, he for she, including my husband, President George Manuel, the feminist in chief. Today we stand on their shoulder to call for an end to all forms of violence against women and girls. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the government of Liberia, the civil society, the international community, our women's organization, and various stakeholders for the solidarity and support to the cause of promoting gender equality and women empowerment.
Meanwhile, Gender Minister Williametta City Tide used the occasion to outline women's contributions made to Liberia, yet the rest of the world.
No doubt, women continue to immeasurably contribute, not just to the global socio-economic fundamentals, but also driving social innovation and leading sea change in a far-reaching fashion. In manifest of this year's global theme, Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change, linking with the UN Commission on the Status of Women's focus on social protection, public services, and sustainable infrastructure. Inspired by the global theme, our national team is tailored to quote, gender equality for innovative change. From grassroots activism to worldwide action, it is imperative that we recalibrate and shift the paradigm. Collective action and shared responsibility is ultimately required for driving gender equality. We recognize that women have come a long way, but we do also do not dismiss that there's still a lot more to be achieved. In order for women to keep breaking through barriers and continuously attaining social, economic, cultural, and political achievements, there must be a consistent call to action that vehemently accelerates change and drive innovation, where everyone has a part to play all the time, everywhere, and we must leave no one person behind.
At the same time, delivering a special statement, Assistant Secretary General and Resident Coordinator to the United Nations, Yakub El Helal, says the current trend of violence against women and girls need to stop.
But women still face major obstacles in accessing and exercising power. As the World Bank found, just 6 economists give women and men equal legal rights in areas that affect their work. And if current trends continue, it will take 170 years to close the economic gender gap. And by the way, these 6 countries are, if I recall correctly, Belgium, Denmark, France, Latvia, Luxembourg, and Sweden. Nationalist, populist, and austerity agendas add to gender inequality with the policies that curtail women's rights and cut social services. In some countries, while homicide rates are overall decreasing, femicide rates are rising.
Riverview County Superintendent Philip Yenon says citizens of the county are now reaping the political dividend of their votes as a result of ongoing road and other projects in the county. He said his people are so glad to witness the construction of asphalt pavement of the roads, first of its kind in the county.
Yes, the ages of development are down quite on course. If you recall, the Fishtown Harper Highway, the asphalt pavement is well on course, and some of the graphic clips are available for you to see. And I think is our people are now upbeat that the president's speech, his nationwide address in recent time, speaking to the fact that you will not rest until every village is conducted by a paved road, and people are realizing that.
In terms of percentage, what can you say about the project? How far has it gone?
Well, as you know, the process has just started, and so in terms of completion, the road network leading from Fishtown, we just broke ground for the road. The machines, the equipment just entered the county, and as soon as they hit the ground, they started work. And the first project is going from Fishtown to Juebo, which is well on course. And I just inspected recently, and I saw that they are doing quite well. As the quota we call asphalt pavement is also on course. Even recorded from Konken all the way to Sabo Squaken and even beyond now. Because Chico that is doing the work is the guys are working 24 hours and so the work is also in an advanced stage. Our people are really upbeat. They are upbeat, and they're so happy that you know, especially so when we go into a political process where people vote in the president, and the president in the first year turn around starts to do so much for the people. I just feel so glad that they're reaping the political dividends of their votes.
Meanwhile, the Riverview County Superintendent pointed out that the county is prioritizing agriculture to help feed themselves. Superintendent Yenon indicated that they are now piloting the project to produce super gari, growing cassava as part of their initiative. He noted.
We're looking at the area of agriculture, Agriculture, basically. And we started piloting a project. And one of the things we talked about is super gari, for example. There was an NGO that operated in the country and in that part of Liberia for, pull out nonsense and left a factory behind. And interestingly, the factory sits on an elaborate 25 acres of land. So what we decided to do as a country was to see how, since the NGO didn't leave sustainability plan, but when they operated, they bought cassava from locals to operate the super gari. So in our mind, the best we could do is to see how we grow our own cassava. And we started off, and that is going very well.
Soap making over the period has been a common way of life for some Liberians, especially with the income it brings to local business people. Well, unlike in the past, the situation now is different due to several factors, including the increase in fluctuation of prices of basic materials to produce the soap, mainly palm oil and caustic soda. Julius Conter visited one of the local manufacturing centers in Red Light General Market, and back in studio, he now reports.
A locally made soap, generally accepted amongst the unprivileged people, especially made from palm oil and caustic soda, is helping small business people to make a living. Iron soap, as it is generally called, is used for washing and bathing. But how did the name come about? Here now is one of the soap manufacturers.
It's a dialect that was made by the Mandingo, meaning when we're talking about it. Because we took it because it was the people that invented it when it came to Liberia. Okay. So this is why meaning their names is funny, but directly we Liberians will provide the names called iron soap. Because it's very hard that when you go, people try to feed it. If during the feeding it has small problems on it, they will always say, oh, this particular soap not hard. But meaning the particular name, Kabaku, it came from the Mananga.
And what do you mean?
It means hard. Iron.
Okay.
According to one of the local manufacturers, the lack of price control of basic commodities on the local market is greatly affecting their operations.
This that we're doing iron soap, daily basis. Then they feel the whole situation are a little bit hard, but we can start the process first about the costing. So costing now, you're getting a 4,000 4,000. The price is very not stable, but they feel they will buy the 4,000 now.
Mohamed Sano now demonstrates from the raw material stage of the soap making to the finished product.
The top, you take 2, you put it here. But this one, I put 4 inside, so I will put 4 cup of caustic in here to stir it. There is a stay for stirring. There is a stay for stirring. You stir it. It will be like this. It will change to this. There is a soap. So when you let it now, there is a bucket. We put water in. We wash our own hand. From there, we start producing the soap. There is the production of the soap. As you can see, starting from here, there is a $60 for one. $60 for one. This one we sell it by dozen.
With the increase in oil and caustic soda prices respectively, there is now a drop in supply, something local manufacturers want the government to address quickly. From the Red Light General Market in Painesville, I'm Julius Conton reporting.
Julius Conton with that brilliant report. The executive director of the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment, Pepsi Yeke, has disclosed that the President Special Project in Grand Crew County is well on course. Mr. Yeke told LNTV News that the 282 housing units project, which is ongoing in the county, is expected to be completed in 4 months. He said the project, upon full completion, will give front view of various communities and towns in the county if it's lived.
We have all of the funding available for the project. As I speak to you, and my team president in Grand Crew, we're going to be constructing 282 homes within the period of 4 months. And then what we are doing at least now is, Grand Crew is the most remote part of Liberia. Getting there in terms of transport going to be quite difficult during the rainy season. So what we are doing now is to see that all the contractors have all of their material across the Grand Crew before the rain can get there. So by the time it begins to rain, and then we'll see how we can complete most of the project before the given period of time.
That 4 months, when did it start?
The project started last month, the middle part of last month, around the 15th of February. And then we also got some videos we're going to share with you later on so that you can know actually what is happening in Grand Crew County.
Which specific area and how does it come about with the selection of the specific area? Because our corresponding reporter there have been 1 or 2 issues about the area selected for the project.
This project is actually the dream of the president, and the president's idea was along the main way we have some Taj horses, we have some horses that are very much preferable for our people in those part of Liberia, and then what he decided to do is that we change the face of those villages
At the same time, the government through LACE has unveiled plans to construct 1,500 housing units in the 15 political subdivisions of the country. Each county of Liberia under the project is expected to benefit 100 housing units. Currently, feasibility study for the project is ongoing, added the LACE boss.
The president also decided that we have a new mandate at LACE. Okay. We are going to build additional 1,500 homes. That is in the pipeline.
Where?
It's 1,500 homes going to be built in the 15 counties. Each county is going to have 100 homes. Okay. Giving us a figure of 1,500. Okay. The president already earmarked $10 million towards that project. This president is working on the technical detail of that project. We have a company from Italy that is already here that we are in discussion with. We already signed an MOU with them, and then they're going to be going along with us to the county tour to see what they can do out there.
Meanwhile, the LACE boss says or is now set for the commencement of the Gorbachev Market project, as they have already received funding for the 3.5 million project. Here once again is Pepsi Yeke.
Got the funding now for that project, and that is $3.8 million. So the Gorbachev Market is going to commence by next week, and then we're trying to work on the president's schedule to see how he can go and do the groundbreaking ceremony. So that is now the construction of the new Gorbachev Market. They do have the funding for that project. So they're going to start by next week. That is $3.8 million funding.
Wow, that's another great news. And so talking about the Gorbachev Market project, what do we hope to see from talking about the project, some of the facilities at the Gorbachev area?
The new Gorbachev Market is going to be built around the Omega Village area, and the market is going to be situated on 5 acres of land, and then 2 acres are going to be used actually for the structure of the market. And then this market is 6,350 square meter market. It's going to be the molding kind of steel structure market. We're going to have storage facility. We're going to also have parking lots for more than 100 people. The market is going to come along with.
Well, if you just join us, it's a reminder you are watching LNTV News Live, and these are the top stories. Liberian women Wednesday joins their global counterparts in observance of International Women's Day under the theme Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. 1,500 homes to be constructed across the country, says LACE boss Pepsi Yeke. River County Superintendent Philip Yenum says ongoing road project in the county is in its advanced stage. And away from Liberia, Kenya, and Somalia restores diplomatic relations following a road over the ownership of offshore oil fields. We take a short break. When we come back, we bring you LNTV Sport. Keep tuned.
Blessed good evening and welcome to the sports, where we start with football from the LFA, because the National Football League continue with first division activities on Wednesday at several venues, and Watanga FC, what remains the UNISA, stay with the 100% since they began winning on the opening day of the campaign. Watanga at the port city of Buchanan earlier today in Grand Bassa County defeated Kedris FC 1-0 to collect 9 points in 3 matches. Elijah Clark scored the lone goal for Watanga FC, which marks his second goal of the season. That's 3 games, 2 goals for the former Invincible 11 RA and FC Faisal player. While the other challengers for the title, LPRC Weathers, managed a 1-0 victory over former champions FC Leska, and a second defeat for Leska FC in the competition. Barracks Young Controllers and Nima United could fight each other to a 1-1 draw in the other match at the BYC field. Nima United took the lead after a former player of BYC put the Adolphus Dolo boys ahead, but that's BYC fought in the second half to level the score, meaning both BYC and Nima United are now level on 7 points after 3 matches. Well, Nima FC, the other club, lost at the Nesebido Stadium 3-1 to Small Town FC in continuation, and that was victory number 2 for Small Town FC, who lost their opening match in the competition. The Intergovernmental League will kick off on 5 April, according to the organizers and those that are to participate in the competition. 36 government entities have agreed to participate in this year's competition, and they have also agreed to have basketball sport included in today's year's event, meaning 3 sporting disciplines will be held during the competition. The organizers also have announced that the draw for the competition will be held next Tuesday at the Health Ministry, where the tier meeting will also take place. The authorities in Margibi County yesterday signed a promissory note asking the football and kickball players to hold their peace until March 18 before their salary can be settled. Players of the Margibi County kickball and football teams on Tuesday staged protests in Kakata, blocking the bridge linking Montserrat to Margibi County or Kakata City, thus causing the stop of traffic. But Margibi County administration later appealed to the players, signing a promissory note begging the players that March 18 they will have their salary. Failures to do so, the players can take the county to court. And veteran striker Emmanuel Adebayo is back into the Togo squad. They will be in Benin for the concluding stage of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Togo needs to win that if they are to be in Egypt. And just before we go, the UEFA Champions League is continuing tonight. Well, it appears that Manchester United wants to repeat what Ajax did last evening to Real Madrid, beating the champions and also eliminating them. Just before we came on, United took a 3-minute lead against PSG in France through Romelu Lukaku. That's it for the sports.
for rejoining us. In the wake of challenges of high unemployment rate in the country, some young men are taking the bull by the horn constructively as a means to help to sustain themselves. In the red light market, some used shoes dealers, mainly students, are normally seen selling used shoes just to ensure they feed their families and pay their school fees. A situation one of them noted is better than stealing. Musa Jabate is the head of the group. He explains more to James W. Harris during a visit to the market Wednesday.
Students and nothing doing, no job, we don't want to be on the street. So I feel that maybe being here and selling will be helpful to me and my family. At the same time, sponsoring myself in school.
Okay. So how much for your shoe then?
We sell here for lesser price for this. Sometimes we sell this for $2.90 because we do wholesale. We do the wholesale, we go in town, we buy, we come, we auction it to people. Other people can't hear in this market. They call the market Better Day Market. They can't hear the buy.
They call the place what?
Better Day Market.
What make it Better Day?
We call it Better Day because you can't hear, you will find things for lesser price that you go and sell out to other people. The boys that are here, they don't want to be on the street. They want to be here and be selling shoes so that they can make their living. So that's why you see many young boys behind here. I think you can see a very youthful population behind here selling shoes. If they just here because they don't want to be on the street. So you see.
Trust your men then?
Yes, yes. We are here, we don't call private for other people because we believe that this is the area that will make our living.
So all of you are students?
Yeah, majority of all girls that sell behind, we are students. We are students. And we are self-support, we don't have sponsors, so we believe that selling shoes, we will be able to sell ourselves to school and be able to do what we do.
The Forestry Development Authority is said to be at the last leg of its National Forestry Inventory process. The inventory, upon full completion, will inform Liberians on the remaining forest the country has and to as well use it for setting up mechanism for the greenhouse gas emission which is now being produced by industrialized countries. C. Mark Doyen is the head of FDA. He has been explaining more to reporters about the benefits the forest inventory has for the people upon full completion.
We should begin the last leg of what we call our forest inventory. That forest inventory will tell us the amount of forest that we have remaining, what we refer to as forest score. That's one. And why is it important? It's important because we can use the forest as an offsetting mechanism for the greenhouse gas emission, that is being produced by industrialized countries. So we are reaching to a place where we want to quantify, what we have here basically in layman terms, oxygen, and so we then will start negotiating with the people out there to sell this thing. So the sale of a metric ton is $5 per 1 metric ton, for the layman understanding of the oxygen that the forest produce,
That's C. Mark Doyen, FDA boss. And in foreign news, Kenya and Somalia have restored diplomatic ties following the road over the ownership of offshore oil fields. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed helped mediate between the presidents of Somalia and Kenya, who held face-to-face talks in Nairobi. Last month, Somalia's ambassador to Kenya was expelled following reports that Somalia was auctioning off shows in the contested area. Somalia denied it was selling the blocks. Somalia has taken Kenya to the International Court of Justice over the issue, which is yet to be resolved. Well, viewers, on that note, this is how we come to an end of LNTV News Live. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. Liberian women Wednesday joins their global counterparts in observance of International Women's Day under the theme Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for change. 1,500 homes to be constructed across the country, says Liz Boss, Pepsi Yeke. River County Superintendent Philip Yonan says ongoing road project in the county is in its advanced stage. And away from Liberia, Kenya, and Somalia restores diplomatic relations following a road over the ownership of offshore oil fields. Many thanks to the entire news team, that's the entire production team, for making tonight's edition a success. Many thanks also to you for watching. On behalf of the entire new production team, I am Cecilia Gligley Clark. I anchored. Good night.
Who told you there's nowhere suitable